We humans pride ourselves on our independence, our self-control, our freedom, right? You, grocery guy, you put the milk in the back of the store to try to get me to buy more. But I'm on to you. And with that awareness, we will avoid your traps. I don't think so. If you turn right rather than left, you will spend an average of $2 more per trip. And if you put fresh foods in your basket first, you will put more of other items in your basket. And it's not just the grocery store. Lots of other kinds of retail, the casino, multifamily housing, and even the office. Designers who understand behavior can influence your choices with the environments they create. We humans find it easier to think conceptually under a high ceiling, and we focus better and make decisions faster under low ceilings. So when you head out to buy a new car and you're in that showroom with its very high ceiling, it is much easier to imagine yourself in a new car. And when you're done imagining, the lovely salesperson will take you into a smaller room with a lower ceiling so that you can make the decisions that need to be done in order to close the deal. But, you say, I willingly traveled the distance between my internet research and that dealership. I was not manipulated. Okay, maybe. But what happens as the world of bricks and mortar are joined by an incredibly robust digital world? And you can travel that distance with just one click. My sons were 5 and 8 when the Pokemon Go craze hit. This augmented reality game meant that we were looking through my phone's camera for little digital creatures. And it meant that every family outing was to a location where we were likely to find Pokemon. Now, lots of people were experiencing this, but for me, when I looked through the phone and I saw that digital creature sitting in a place where it wasn't, and then I looked around at the broad cultural acceptance of that as reality, my world was shaken. My background is behavioral strategy, the practice of using physical space, processes, policies, tools to influence behavior. And when I recognized that I suddenly had an entire toolkit that would allow me to customize those influencers, I suddenly saw how much power I had. You see, the historic problem with behavioral strategy is that while we know those influencers work, they work on a very broad basis. It's very hard to get specific responses. So I can put a bench somewhere to encourage relaxation and reflection, but it's going to speak to one demographic and not another. What digital tools allow me to do is to create an experience that is unique to you in that moment and place. I can use artificial intelligence to recognize your facial expression and predict your mood with amazing accuracy. And with that knowledge, I can create a digital event, visual, audio, sensory, that will have a much greater influence on your behavior. I can tap into your calendar and give you a different experience on your way from gym to work than work to gym. I can take the same physical meeting room, and I can put one kind of digital object in for a 2-person meeting and another kind for a 4-person meeting. And then I can watch your reaction to both that digital object and the other people in the room, and I can begin to guide not only your individual behavior, but also interpersonal behavior. The physical and digital environments are becoming one. Smart products become smart cities. User experience as a discipline is expanding as designers explore interaction beyond and between objects. I can design environments that will influence your behavior, but with artificial intelligence and augmented reality, I can tailor those environments to who you are in that specific moment. I can guide your behavior at a level that begins to approach complete control. I get to decide what life you will live. Okay, you do have some ability to participate if you choose to. The research is very clear that environments influence behavior. But for the most part, we get to choose our environments. Winston Churchill said it best when he said, "We shape our buildings, and thereafter they shape us." If we can get clear about the lives we want to live and the environments that are likely, and the experience that are likely to fill those lives, then we can begin to create those lives for ourselves. Just as going to the grocery store with a list lessens the power of those influencers, so if you can have a clear vision, you become a co-designer of the behavioral influencers in your life. Now, we can shape our digital environments much the way we might shape our physical environments. We can choose the technologies that will enable us to live the lives we want. We can use those technologies in ways that allow us to experience the experiences that will fill those lives. This is a mock-up of what is in essence an augmented reality wallpaper. We know that humans experience reduced stress with views of nature, whether those views are real or photographs. And you might choose, when you're having a particularly stressful day in the office, to replace the corporate wallpaper with a picture of a beach or a forest. Organizations can work much the same way. If they're clear about the outcomes and the behaviors likely to lead to those outcomes, then they can create environments that will empower their teams. At Maya Design, we have a series of round rooms, and when the panels are closed, we are completely surrounded 360 degrees with whiteboards. And what that does is tap into the exponentially larger human capacity for spatial memory, which increases our ability to collaborate and delivers an outcome of a higher level of innovation for us and our clients. So with individuals and with organizations, if we can be clear about what we want, we are more likely to be able to create the environments that deliver those outcomes. Now, the human habit that interferes with that way of thinking, as logical as it is that we love our objects. We are on Pinterest, collecting pictures of doors and bathrooms and tables, and we're buying that really cool new smart thermostat, microwave. But the problem is that objects come with experiences. And when you choose the objects first, you get the experience that it comes with, and then you get the life you get. In order for us to remain human in our increasingly technological society, we need to flip this. We need to start by choosing the outcome. And then once we know what the outcome is that we want, then we can design the experiences that are likely to deliver those outcomes. And finally, with that clarity, we can assemble the objects. Now, there's a reason that we tend to focus on objects. Figuring out an outcome is much, much harder work. But we have to do the good work of understanding ourselves and our heart's desires in order to create the experiences and the environments that will enable that. We have to choose every day the objects and spaces, physical and digital, that combine to create the environments that will influence the behaviors, that will enable the experiences, that will deliver to us the life that we want to live. In today's age, the onus is on us, humans, to level up, to correspondingly level up our intelligence and our self-awareness. If we don't do the work of fully understanding ourselves, our desires, our motivators, and our triggers, more than ever, we risk living a life that has been determined for us, not by us. Imagine a world where the environment adapts constantly to who you are at any given time and place. Imagine the power of designers or the artificial intelligence that is their proxy stand-in to influence your choices. The only question left is, which will it be? Your behavior driven automatically by your environment or by your own choices? Thank you.